Good morning. A couple of months ago, I uploaded a What I Eat in a Day video in which I showed you how I easily get over 100 grams of protein. I believe in that particular video, it was around 130 grams of protein per day on a plant-based diet. And so many of you told me that you really enjoyed the video and that it was actually helpful. So today I'm taking you through another full day of eating a somewhat high protein plant-based diet. Now, as I mentioned, quite a few of you told me that you really enjoyed the video and that it was actually helpful. But there were also some of you who voiced their concerns. Sorry about my voice, by the way, I just woke up. But anyways, there were also some of you who voiced their concerns. Some of you told me that I eat too much protein, that I eat too many avocados, that I shouldn't eat a plant-based diet, and so on. Please know, I am not telling anybody what to do or what or how to eat. I'm just sharing with you what works for me and what I do. We are all different, and what works for one may not work for another. But I would love it if in the comments you would share how you eat and what works for you. Now, you might wonder what I have on my head. I talked about this in a previous video. This is a red light therapy cap, which I'm currently testing. I will keep you posted on this. But first thing in the morning, I always drink a bottle of water. I fill this up at night. If you can hear something in the background, that's Bean going crazy. I fill this up at night and leave this on my kitchen counter, so I have no excuses to not drink water. And while I drink this water, I take some of my supplements, such as my Desert Island supplement, NMN, combined with TMG, of course. I also take some vitamin B12, a plant-based vitamin D3 and K2, and some other supplements, including creatine. And then after I take my supplements, I make myself a protein pudding. I call it a protein pudding. It's really just protein powder and soy milk. I still use the Naked Shake. I've shown this a few times before. This is the peanut butter chocolate flavor. But I mix this now with this new protein powder I got. I've talked about this before as well, called Happy Viking. This is so delicious. It is addictive, but it is unfortunately not cheap. So I mix it with the the Naked Shake. So I just take a scoop of each. And then I use just enough soy milk to make it nice and thick. Now, while this doesn't look too appetizing when it's done, I really love having this first thing in the morning. It keeps my blood sugar nice and stable while I'm out on my walk with Bean and throughout my workout, because I don't really like to have a full stomach while working out, but I also don't like to work out fasted. So this right here gives me 20 grams of protein from the protein powder, and then 1 cup of soy milk has 7 grams of protein. So let's call it 25 grams of protein. Like I said, it doesn't look too appetizing, but I actually really enjoy it, and it really works for me. And something else I have every morning is a couple of pieces of dark chocolate. And then once I finished my water, took my supplements, had my protein pudding, as well as my chocolate, I take Bean for a walk. This little girl had her workout, and now it's time for mine.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch.
Alright, workout done. Quick shower and then breakfast. For breakfast today, I'm really craving a smoothie. I have some frozen organic strawberries right here. Going to add a banana as well. Some of this unsweetened cashew coconut yogurt. One container has about 15 grams of protein and I'm adding about a third. So let's say about 5 grams of protein from the yogurt. Bean absolutely loves this yogurt. Is that good stuff, huh? Yeah. Then I'm also going to add some hemp seed. I don't measure them. I would say I add about 2 tablespoons, which gives me another 5 grams of protein. So right now we are up to 10 grams of protein. I'm adding a scoop of this plant-based vanilla protein powder. This is not necessarily my favorite, but I'm trying to use it up. But 1 scoop has 24 grams of protein. So we are at 34 grams of protein right here. And lastly, I'm adding about a cup of soy milk, which gives me 7 grams of protein. Let's just say 5. So we are at 40 grams of protein right here. I always underestimate, so nobody accuses me of overestimating and telling you that there is more protein in any of these than there really is. And then I'm going to add some cacao nibs for some crunch, as well as antioxidants. Oh, more antioxidants. I already got quite a few from these strawberries and banana. And then, of course, no breakfast of mine would be complete without some dandy blend. I also put a bit of soy milk in here, but I'm not even going to count that protein. So I have about 40 grams of protein right here. I like to eat my smoothie with a spoon. I like it nice and thick. So about 40 grams of protein right here and about 25 grams this morning for my protein pudding. So I'm up to about 65 grams of protein so far. Again, I like to slightly underestimate rather than overestimate. So I am going to enjoy this right now while doing some work, and I will see you for lunch. For lunch today, I am making a Thai noodle salad with brown rice noodles, and I have all the other ingredients right here. I have a pot on the stove to boil some water for the noodles, in case you're hearing that in the background. And I'm also preheating my oven. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut up this tofu and spice it up and then throw it in the oven. I like to get the high protein tofu. So this tofu right here has 14 grams of protein per serving size. And this is 5 serving sizes. So this whole block is 70 grams of protein. Every time I do something in the kitchen, Bean is right here, making sure she's not missing anything. The other thing I like about this high protein tofu is that it is very firm. And I'm just going to flavor this with some sriracha. And I do want it somewhat spicy. Tiny bit of tamari. And actually just a splash of maple syrup. All right, while that is boiling, we're adding the pasta. I'm going to put the tofu in the oven. And while my tofu is baking, I'm going to cut up some of this red cabbage, some of these mini bell peppers. I have some already shredded carrots, and I'm going to defrost some of these frozen edamame. I'm not quite sure how much edamame this is. I would say probably about 1.5 cups. So 2/3 of a cup have 11 grams of protein. So let's just say it's a cup. So that would be, let's see, 11. Let's just say this is about the edamame, about 16 grams of protein. The tofu is 70. So that is 86 grams, let's say 85 grams. And then the pasta is 20 grams. It's 4 serving sizes and it's 5 grams per serving size. So that's 85 and 20 is 105. And then we're also going to get some protein from the dressing. Now, obviously, I'm not going to eat this all at once. Like I said, the noodles are 4 serving sizes. So this whole bowl, once I add the tofu, is probably going to be 4 to 5 serving sizes. I'm just going to mix this up a little bit because these rice noodles like to really stick together as they cool down. Okay, so for the dressing, I am going to add, let's see how much protein is in peanut butter. It says 2 tablespoons have 7 grams of protein. So I'm probably, and this is not the best peanut butter, it's Skippy. I have this at home because my husband loves it. It's not what I would buy for myself. So I'm going to, let's see. Usually, of course, I just eyeball this, I don't measure it. But since I really want to see how much protein is in here, I'm going to somewhat measure it. So this is 4 tablespoons right now, which is 14 grams of protein. So by adding this, we would be up to, let's just say 15 grams, 105, we'd be up to 120 grams of protein. I'm going to add a tiny bit of rice vinegar, some tamari, and I don't have an exact recipe for this. Like I said, I usually just eyeball it, I try it, and I add whatever I feel it still needs. Bit of lime juice, bit of sriracha, garlic powder, as well as a bit of ginger powder. Now, of course, the vegetables, aside from the edamame, also have a tiny bit of protein. I'm not going to bother counting that. All right, I am going to add this. And again, I'm going to mix this up, even though I don't have the tofu in here, just so the noodles can get a bit saturated. And I'm also going to add some peanuts. Again, normally I don't measure this, I usually eyeball it. But right now I added a half a cup of peanuts, which is 18 grams of protein. And I'm going to mix this up and see if I actually want more or not. And yes, I definitely want some more. So I'm adding another half a cup, adding another 18 grams of protein. So altogether, I added 36 grams of protein from the peanuts. So once we add the tofu, this salad is going to have 156 grams of protein. And again, obviously, I don't eat this all at once. I would say this is about 5 serving sizes for me. So 156, let's say 155, just to make it easy, divided by 5 is 31. So 1 serving size will have 31 grams of protein. Probably a bit more because, like I said, of course, the vegetables have a tiny bit of protein as well, but we're not going to bother counting that. All right, our tofu is done. Let's add it. Give this another good mix. Now, one thing I forgot is cilantro. I got all the ingredients for this yesterday and I completely forgot the cilantro. I am super excited for this. And the only thing that would make this even better would be some cilantro, which I might pick up later and then add. But right now, I'm going to enjoy this and I will see you later, probably for dessert. And that was delicious. Oh, and I totally forgot to tell you that I also had some homemade kombucha with lunch for some fermented foods or drink. And then for dessert, as always, I am having some more dark chocolate as well as some more dandy blend. Now, dark chocolate actually has 4 grams of protein per serving. And of course, I have some soy milk in here as well, which has a bit of protein. So I was up to 96 grams of protein with lunch. So let's just say with dessert, I am at 100 grams of protein. And we just came back from the doggy park. This little one is tired. And now it's time to make some dinner. So for dinner, I'm going to make a big pot of chili. I have most of my ingredients right here. And these ingredients combined actually have 130 grams of protein. So I have 2 cans of black beans right here. Each can has 28 grams of protein. I have another can of chili beans, which has about 25 grams of protein. I'm also going to add about a half a cup of lentils, giving me another 28 grams of protein. And I'm going to add these 3 small sweet potatoes, which combined have about 12 grams of protein. So I'm just going to start by chopping up some onion and garlic, as well as the sweet potatoes. And then we're just going to add all of this. Well, once the beans are rinsed, we're going to add all of this to a big pot and let it simmer. So I started by sauteing the onion and garlic, and then I also added my sweet potato. I like to brown the sweet potato just a bit before I cook them because I feel they become more flavorful that way. And I just added a bit of avocado oil to the pot before adding all of these things. I just realized while I was putting all of this together and telling you step by step what I'm adding to this pot, my camera wasn't on. I'm so sorry about that. If you're at all interested in the recipe, I will leave it down below in the info box. But everything is in here now. It is starting to smell really delicious. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer, and while it's doing its magic, I am going to jump into my sauna. As you can see, I'm in my sauna while the chili is cooking, and Bean learned that she can actually jump up on this sauna, which she started doing the last couple of days, and then she just positions herself behind me and is completely content. She cannot stand it if I sit down and she can't be in my lap. So when I first got her, I would bring her doggy bed in here with a bunch of toys and bones to keep her busy. And as soon as I would sit in my sauna and zip it up, she would go bananas. So now she learned that she can actually jump up here. And like I said, she's completely content. Not only is she close to me, but it's also nice and warm. All right, done with our sauna. I'm all cleaned up, wearing my pajamas, and I'm drinking a Spindrift Fuji apple. These are so delicious. I'm addicted to these, especially after a sauna. Beanie is eating her dinner, and I'm super excited for mine. That smells so delicious. Now, obviously, I'm not going to eat all of this in one sitting. Just like with the Thai noodle salad, I will probably have this for most of the week for dinner. I would say, again, this is probably about 5 serving sizes. Add some avocado on top. I am having some technical difficulties today. First, I forgot to film half of my cooking, and now my other microphone just died. But if this whole pot of chili is 150 grams of protein and it's 5 serving sizes, then I have another 30 grams of protein right here, making it around 130 grams of protein for today. I am going to enjoy this right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, bye.